Sometime next year, I'm thinking about reviewing the entire Equestria Girls YouTube series alongside other My Little Pony reviews. Maybe even a review on My Little Pony Pony Life. Keep your eyes on that. Anyway, enjoy the re-review of all 4 Equestria Girls films.
You are my Equestria Girls. Met you when the light switched on. It brightens up my day like the sun when my friends come a-running. You were right all along, that together we're always better. We could turn a sketch into a masterpiece. When you're here, I feel like I'm complete. You are my Equestria Girls.
Author's note. This video is a re-review of Equestria Girls, Rainbow Rocks, Friendship Games, and Legends of Everfree, based on My Little Pony by Bonnie Zackerly and Lauren Faust, directed by Jason Thiessen and Ishi Riddell, published by Hasbro Studios and DHX Media, now Wildbrain Media. Legends of Everfree is still available on Netflix. Starring the voices of Tara Strong, Tabitha St. Germain, Andrea Lipman, Ashley Ball, Kathy Weisluck, Nicole Oliver, Vincent Tong, Lee Talker, Richard Ian Cox, Kazumi Evans, Mary Kay Hendrickske, Diana Carina, Britt McKillop, Iris Quinn, Kelly Sheridan, Shannon Chan Kent, Kathleen Barr, Brian Doe, Brian Drummond, Enid Reid Adams, and Rebecca Soike as Sunset Shimmer. These films are not rated to rated G.
Did you feel that?
Who was that?
Now, who's excited for Camp Everfree?
This is our big night. We're getting ready and we're doing it outright. This is our big night. Friendship survive, now we'll start it outright.
As I speak, a new generation of My Little Pony has kicked off on Netflix with a brand new movie, while a special and an animated series will debut next year on the streaming service. But before we dive into the new era for ponies, we should take a trip back into the past with the first 4 Equestria Girls movies. So sit back and hang on as we take a look at the My Little Pony spin-off series that puts Barbie to shame. Yeah, I had to go there. I originally reviewed this 2013 film back in 2015, prior to my review of Friendship Games, but this will be the first part of our re-review of the 4 Equestria Girls films. Sometime after her first coronation, Princess Twilight Sparkle lost the element of magic to a former apprentice of Princess Celestia, Sunset Shimmer. To get her crown back, Twilight Sparkle must journey to a world where humans, not ponies, are the dominant species.
I'm so nervous,
You do realize that's not a real word, right?
Back then, the idea of ponies in human form has taken a lot of controversy, that it alone ruins the spirit of what makes My Little Pony great. But back then, I thought that kind of criticism was rather silly. And now I still think ponies as humans are still fine as long as the character still remains. The Equestria Girls counterparts of each of the various characters are still the same, and that's what matters the most. Heck, even if they were Autobots, Decepticons, Maximals, or Predacons, it's their characterization that mattered the most.
The great and powerful Trixie! Need some peanut butter crackers.
But what Equestria Girls did bring to the table was that it gave a unique form of lore that differed from the pony worlds of Equestria, Dream Valley, or other generations. One thing that I wish Equestria Girls brought along are variations of characters from other generations like the original or the new G5 series like Sunny Star Scouts, or go as far as characters from other franchises like G.I. Joe, Transformers, Gem and the Holograms, or even the Power Rangers. Even though Power Rangers didn't become a Hasbro franchise till 2018. And speaking of which, this was the reason why I came up with the Equestria Girls version of Starscream. Credit still goes to Empire of Time for making it a reality and source filmmaker. It was hard enough that Twilight Sparkle had to get used to being an alicorn. Thanks, M.A. Larson. But fitting in the human world? That's another problem that's all so foreign to her. But it gets worse for her when Sunset Shimmer puts a lot of pressure on the future ruler of Equestria. To make things even worse, the counterparts of her friends were separated, making her work to get her crown back even harder. As a result, it felt really cathartic to see Twilight Sparkle bring the team back together and pay back Sunset for everything that happened. Not to mention, these are the same girls we all know and love.
I knew this one was going tonight just as much as she does.
Back before she became the Ahsoka Tano of Equestria Girls and My Little Pony, Sunset Shimmer was a really mean-spirited, woman. Yeah. Selfish, sinister, egotistical, and a manipulator. Sunset Shimmer back then would do whatever it takes to be the most powerful human in the land. She was about as cold-hearted back then, and even Snips and Snails were far more devious compared to their Friendship is Magic and Pony Life counterparts. Fun fact, Sunset Shimmer's former attitude was the inspiration for Starscream's Equestria Girls counterparts. Now as for Flash Sentry, I wasn't really bothered by him back then, considering that he helped Twilight out when it was needed. Plus he was a real nice guy. What's not to like?
Those are my girls! Woohoo!
Did that dog just talk?
The talking dog is the weird thing about all this?
In the end, the original Equestria Girls film, despite its flaws, did bring a new concept and a new universe from the world of Hasbro. It's something I'm glad that came out to be, and it led to something great from the magic of friendship that is My Little Pony. But that pales in comparison to its sequel. And that's saying a lot. And now, let us move on to the re-review of Rainbow Rocks. I reviewed this back when it came to theaters in 2014 as my first review related to My Little Pony. Many call this one of the best entries in the Equestria Girls series. Some time has passed since the events of the first Equestria Girls film. As Sunset Shimmer struggles to make amends for what she did, a new set of foes called the Dazzlings put the school under a spell of hate. The girls must call for Twilight Sparkle to return and help them out once more.
Please do not drop the microphones.
The stakes are higher in this film compared to the first, and not just tensions towards Sunset Shimmer. The entire school is even more hostile towards each other. Anger, resentment, spite, hate. These elements showcase the worst of any one individual, be it human, pony, or even Cybertronian. Seeing this kind of madness made the last Equestria Girls film look tame in comparison, and not to mention the heartbreak the girls go through all the way to the final battle. Talk about going through a place worse than Tartarus.
Been a long time since I've written these words.
This is where Sunset Shimmer starts to expand as the Ahsoka of Equestria Girls and My Little Pony. She goes through a lot of distrust from the other students due to what she did at the Fall Formal Festival. But that's just scratching the surface. She suffered from a lot of anxiety and doubt since her path to redemption started. And not to mention her new friends are a bit innocently insensitive and she couldn't catch a break until the climax. It took a lot of courage for Sunset Shimmer to crawl out of her shell and give her friends the power they need to win. And what she did near the end is saying a lot for the Pony Ahsoka.
Friendship is magic!
And it's not just Sunset who went through some hard times. The 5 girls still had their own conflicts even after the events of the first film, be it with Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy, Rarity, Applejack, and especially with Rainbow Dash butting in and letting her own ego get the best of everyone. What a mess! Twilight Sparkle goes through even more than the last time, with her own stress with the counterspell and her fear of failure. It gets even worse when Flash Sentry, who was under the dazzling spell, shut her out with so much malice. Damn! And I thought her problems at the wedding was horrible.
This is it, girls. The moment we've been waiting for.
Lunch?
And then we have the Dazzlings. Adagio Dazzle, the wicked and sinister, Aria Blaze, the cynical, and Sonata Dust, the cute one. These three are the main source of the problems of the film, and they are as enjoyable as the Sanderson sisters of Hocus Pocus, putting a lot of magical pressure on the girls, increasing the tensions between the students at Canterlot High, and delivering some of the best songs of the Equestria Girls franchise. Many fans consider these three among the best of the My Little Pony villains alongside Chrysalis, T-Rex, and Cozy Glow, and this movie alone is a prime example why.
The Princess of Friendship!
A step above the first film, Equestria Girls Rainbow Rocks put a lot of pressure on the girls, helped Sunset Shimmer on her path of redemption, and gave us a set of villains that makes this one of the best things out of the Equestria Girls spin-off series. Not to mention a fun nod to Gem and the Holograms. And we're only halfway done with this review. We got 2 more films left.
Crystal Prep students are super athletic, super smart, and super motivated.
And now, let's dive into the infamous Friendship Games, which I reviewed back in 2015. Fun fact, unlike the last 2 films, this debuted on Discovery Family instead of theaters. Some time has passed since the events of Rainbow Rocks. As Sunset Shimmers finally settled in as a true friend of Canterlot High, the Twilight from this world joins in, and serious competition between Canterlot High and Crystal Prep is coming along through the Friendship Games.
Are we gonna win?
What I really liked about this film was that it expanded the Equestria Girls' lore even further with a rival school, Crystal Prep, and the rivalry between the 2 schools. New characters like Indigo Zap, Lemon Zest, Sour Sweet, Sugar Coats, and Sunny Flare join in as the anti-main 5, and even Dean Cadence joins in as well. In addition, the school spirit is the major highlight throughout the Friendship Games. To see the Wonder Colts and the Shadow Bolts duke it out in academics, sports, and many more felt really exciting. And if you think that's nuts, wait till you get a load of the climax of the film. Puts the climax of the last 2 films to shame.
And that magic is only around because of me.
Even in spite of finally being accepted by her co-students at Canterlot High, Sunset Shimmer can't seem to catch a break. She was put under a lot of stress to keep the magic of friendship under control during the Friendship Games, and she still blames herself for the magic of Equestria's presence along all of Canterlot High. Even worse, she doesn't have the help of Princess Twilight Sparkle, considering that this took place during the cutie remark of My Little Pony. And when she struggled to contain the magic of friendship, she takes it out on the new Twilight. Poor girl can't catch a break. But at least, we see her evolve into the hero she was meant to be, like Ahsoka Tano of Star Wars fame.
Okay.
But Sunset Shimmer wasn't the only one with problems. The new Twilight Sparkle from Crystal Prep may be the prized student of the school, but at the same time, she's an outcast to our fellow peers, taken advantage of by Principal Abacus Cinch, and she ends up causing a lot of trouble at the Friendship Games with her device. And that's even in spite of the fact that Canterlot High is friendly to this Crystal Prep pariah. To make matters worse, well, it happened right at the end when she became Midnight Sparkle, an even more devious villain than Demon Sunset. Imagine what would have happened if Princess Twilight Sparkle turned evil. Even Chrysalis, T-Rex, and Cozy Glow would fear her.
I'd like to thank Principal Celestia for her unconventional welcome.
Finally, we turn to the main antagonist, Principal Abacus Cinch of Crystal Prep. Cruel, vicious, and manipulating, Principal Cinch does what it takes to maintain the perfect record of her school. She felt like the ideal villain of the series, considering that her tone reminds me of the classic Disney villains, or rather, Lady Tremaine of Cinderella. Cinch takes advantage of her prized student Twilight Sparkle to win by any means necessary, putting that girl under complete pressure. What tops it off is like the Dazzlings of the last film, she ends up having a song of her own alongside the Shadow Bolts, putting her own ambition clearly in the spotlight. Now that's what I call a villain.
Twilight?
I'm sorry to say this to Rainbow Rocks fans, but Equestria Girls Friendship Games remains as my favorite Equestria Girls film due to the Friendship Games competition, Crystal Prep, the new Twilight, Abacus Cinch, and even Sunset Shimmer evolving like Ahsoka Tano did and becoming the hero she was meant to be. And we only have one more review left. Let's wrap this up. I reviewed this fourth entry back in 2016, and fun fact, this was the only Equestria Girls film to debut on Netflix. How does this film hold up? Well, let's take a look. It has been some time since the events of the Friendship Games. Sunset Shimmer and the gang are off to Camp Everfree for some rest and relaxation. But an old legend called Gaia Everfree is about to cross paths with our heroes as they discover their true magic.
I'll get you another one.
And I'm all out of arrows.
Compared to the first three films, it felt more laid back, considering where the gang went to. Not as much tension as in Rainbow Rocks or Friendship Games. More like a typical episode of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, that isn't a season premiere or finale. But at the same time, there's also a tone that's similar to the Scooby-Doo franchise, like there was a mystery to the problems at camp. Makes me wonder why the writers never got to write for Warner Brothers or their animation departments. On the flip side, what happened to Flash Sentry? I can't help but feel sorry for what he's going through. Also, unlike the last set of films, there's a new set of magic that reminds me of the X-Men. Super speed, Michael Bay explosions, conjuring gems, super strength, talking to animals, levitating, and mind reading. On the one hand, once Sunset learns about the magic, she would help teach her friends how to master them, like she's Professor Xavier, so they could be proved useful in the climax after they struggle to control their abilities. On the other hand, this was a wasted opportunity to invite Stan Lee into the series as a humble cameo. Way to go, Hasbro. Even DC allowed Stan Lee into Teen Titans Go to the Movies before he passed away.
You and your friends can never truly defeat me.
As for Twilight Sparkle, she goes through a lot since the Friendship Games. Even in spite of Canterlot High forgiving her for what happened, she still couldn't put her past behind, considering that Midnight Sparkle still lingered in her soul. Her greatest fear was that she would transform once again into Midnight Sparkle. But at the same time, Sunset Shimmer was there for her like how Princess Twilight was for Sunset, helping her through her own anxieties. On a side note, the pairing between her and Timber Spruce seems rather random, considering that Timber is supposed to be a silly kind of person, but not silly enough in my books.
Attention, campers! Is Gaia Everfree?
While Gloriosa Daisy looked like a pleasant camp counselor on the outside, deep on the inside, she's as troubled as Twilight, even more so considering her own problems. Her land is being threatened by Filthy Rich. She chose to use the power to push herself to the limits, and even got into arguments with her brother Timber Spruce, almost looking like she was about to break down. I really felt sorry for her, even after she transformed into Gaia Everfree and wreaked havoc on the campers to protect the forest. Luckily, she managed to get better after all that happened. And by the way, on the flip side, as I said this before, why does Filthy Rich remind me of you know who? Two guesses who they might be, and they're both tremendous guesses.
But I'm warning you, you might as well hug a friend now. That's how scary it is.
Though I consider this a step down from Rainbow Rocks and Friendship Games, Equestria Girls, Legend of Everfree provided a nice alternative from the madness of Canterlot High. It also tapped into a new set of powers that brings a nod to Marvel and DC, and opened the way to the Equestria Girls YouTube series. And to think, this is still on Netflix. In fact, the other three films aren't even on Hulu. What are you thinking, Hasbro? As I speak, we have covered all four initial Equestria Girls films, and we seem primed to review the debut of Generation 5. But at the same time, It is really sad that the Equestria Girls era has ended too soon. I would love to see more stories come out of this spin-off series, give it some new villains, and a grand finale that would make Avengers Endgame look weak in comparison. Will the series return in the future? It's a possibility, with older cartoons getting new content unexpectedly like Animaniacs, Rocko's Modern Life, Star Wars The Clone Wars, and Tiny Toon Adventures. I'd say an Equestria Girls revival is possible in the future, like with new episodes, new shorts, or even new movies. Anything is possible for the franchise, but as I say in the Switch Watch and Smash Watch videos, only time will tell if Hasbro will follow through with an Equestria Girls revival. My Little Pony, continuing to spread the magic of friendship till all are one.
Make that the second strangest.